It's the local show on 89.3 The Current. I'm joined in the studio by John Mouse. That was a song called Do Your Best from the Love Is Real release. There's sort of a beautiful message in that song.
That's right. I think it's the most important message of all.
Reach out your hands.
Yeah, to the one alone, to everyone who's alone. We're all alone, right? Essentially.
Yeah. I mean,
when we ought to reach out towards each other, right?
Alone together.
Right.
Which is still alone.
Right. But we should be infinitely converging upon seeing one another, I think,
Yeah.
Reaching out our hands to one another.
You'd advocate for a greater connectedness?
Well, I mean, I think in the sense that you say we're alone together, right, I'd advocate for a greater separateness. But in order to see that separateness, we need to get beyond these images of our, these alien images of ourselves that we consume and try and see one another in the element of our pure presentation,
John, how are you feeling about being here right now? It's good to have you, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but
yeah, I get a little nervous too before all the. I thought that after X number of years of doing this, or performances, or being in front of people, like X number of times, that at some point I would just be calm and cool and comfortable with it. But it never really works out that way, right?
No, it gets worse. It gets worse, doesn't it?
I think it kind of does. I read somewhere that Robert Plant, the great front man of one of the most gargantuan rock bands of all time, actually stopped an interview or a conversation he was having with the person who was going to introduce him. Like, excuse me for a moment, and went over and threw up in the garbage can 10 feet away before he had to walk on stage, and does it every night.
Yeah. I understand that completely and absolutely.
Performance is a nerve-wracking and anxiety-inducing endeavor.
Yeah.
But it's rewarding, too.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite part about making music or performing music is? What really draws you to it? I mean, you've been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah. I think what draws me to it is just my suspicion or my wager that it's one of the few places where we can really try and appear. You know what I mean? We can really struggle to give something, share something of ourselves. Of course, there's other ways of doing that. But I think. For whatever foolish reason, I chose music, art, whatever.
John and I will get into the psychology of being and other interesting, heady topics again here in just a few moments. We got to talk a little bit about this new record. We're talking about We Must Become the Pitiless Censors of Ourselves. That's the new album. Came out on the 28th. I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you were excited about with this record. It's the third, official John Mouse release.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know what I was.
I don't know what I was doing, man.
It was more of a, not to be obnoxious, but it was more a matter of necessity. You know what I mean? Like I just had to put it to bed and get out of my my cabin in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? That's what I was excited about.
Were you in a cabin in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
This is a Bon Iver experience?
Down in Austin, Minnesota, where I've been living for the last 2 years. I've got a little 2-bedroom, farmhouse type of deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. It's great until the solitude swallows you whole. You know what I mean?
Becomes deafening.
Yeah. It's no good. It's no good for me. That's a bad bet for me. The solitude. It was not inspirational. You know what I mean?
Right.
Got to mix it up with people. That's the way. That's the way to find inspiration, maybe.
Occasionally, you got to go into downtown Austin and
Yeah.
stop at the Chili's and
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
up some chicken fingers or something.
Yeah.
Let's. You want to do another song?
You bet.
Rights for gays. Anything that you want to say about this? Before
Yeah,
I
I
perform?
mean, obviously, I don't believe in human rights. I mean, to the extent that they would naturalize economic inequality and so on. And obviously, I don't believe in gays either, to the extent that there's as many sexes as there are people, you know. And this is just a way for power to put a type of behavior, turn a type of behavior into a type of person. But what I'm arguing for here, right then, essentially with those disclaimers in mind, is rights for that which could never have any rights. So an undoing of rights altogether, and just a pure appearing of the queer, you know, of the queer, of the invisible, you know. I guess that's what I would say.
All right, let's do it. John Mouse on the local show.
Rights for gays. Oh yeah. Rights for gays. Oh yeah. Right now. Rights for gays. Oh yeah. Rights for gays. Oh yeah. Rights for gays. Oh yeah. Right now, rights for gays, oh yeah. Come now, climb to a fence post. No, you can take it to the bank. These homosexuals. Climb to a fence post. You can take it to the bank. Rights for gays, oh yeah. Rights for gays, oh yeah. Right now, rights for gays, oh yeah. And medical care for the doctor is here. These homosexuals. Rights for gays. Oh yeah. Rights for gays. Oh yeah. Right now, rights for gays, oh yeah.
John Mouse on the local show. A song called Rights for Gays from the Love is Real record. The new album is called We Must Become the Pitiless Censors of Ourselves. We're going to hear a song from that in just a little bit. What's your creative process like in the solitude of your farmhouse in Austin, Minnesota?
Yeah, there was no creative process. There was just a lot of avoiding the creative process because of how you spend time. You sit at a keyboard, you just noodle around and try to find something that seems to work. I really appreciate the analogy with a scientist, right, who's looking for some kind of interesting results, and then he shares them with the community. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for that discovery, and spend lots of time just playing around, maybe writing away from the piano or whatever, but trying to come up with some idea that seems worthwhile, seems worth bringing to bear, seems worth sharing with others, you know? So I just spend a lot of time doing that and failing at it over and over and over again until I discover something that I think, some musical idea that I think is worth sharing.
Is rewarding or is exciting?
Yeah, it seems novel, seems to innovate, you know, some way. I mean, I only have my own frame of reference, but in terms of that, seems to innovate, right?
You do a lot of traveling, touring around the country, especially recently. What is the most inspiring part of the the United States that you encounter creatively, whether it's like a geographic thing that you encounter or certain communities of people or a city or a place that you stay or anything?
Well, I've got to be suspicious of myself here because unequivocally, it's southern Minnesota. You know, it's precisely where I'm from. There's something about that dull prairie land in between the river valley and the Great Plains, and the rhythms of the people there, the sounds and the smells that really resonates with me. You know, it's the home where I'm not at home, whereas everywhere else I'm not at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something I understand, you know, and can work with and try to set forth, you know?
You were born and raised in Austin, Minnesota,
Yep.
home of Martin Zeller
Yep.
and the Spam Museum.
Right. In the Spam Museum.
What was it like growing up there for you?
We weren't bound by anything. We could ride our bikes, you know, just run and play in those summer humid nights. No kind of older generation was there. They all leave, of course, after high school to kind of look up to. So we had to kind of invent our own thing. And I think that really, that possibility being there was really important, you know. But of course, you get the sense that it had its heyday long ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, and after the unions were destroyed and all that kind of stuff, it took on that character that I think most of the Midwest in America has, that kind of ghost town.
It's lost.
Yeah.
In many ways.
But that's a beautiful, you know, that's something to try to speak. You know, I mean, there's this mall in Austin, Minnesota that when I was a child was just full. You know, and now it's just all these empty cages inside. You know, something like to have come up in the process of while that was unfolding, the emptying out, the dream fading. You know, it's something about that. You know.
Describe for me your perfect day. Where would you be? With whom would you be? What would you eat? What would you do?
You know, I really hate to sound cheesy or whatever, but honestly, my perfect day would be, at least in my experience, it would be really being able to help some people that were, you know, suffering or whatever, you know, somehow being able to do that, somehow being able to share my experience or lend a hand to help the unfortunate and the suffering in whatever uncondescending way I could. You know what I mean?
To give.
Yeah. But precisely in that way, though. I mean, not just give my music or give, you know, I mean, literally, pragmatically helping somehow. I mean, that's the greatest joy that I've known. So obviously, I'm not interested in joy. I'm interested in speaking or something. But, you know, if one asked what the key to happiness was, I suppose that would be what in my experience is the answer, right? Is helping people.
I think most people would just answer it very differently. They talk about something that they would consume or see or experience wholly for them.
I refuse to believe that actually makes anybody happy. You know what I mean? They might say it, but I really think seeing others and helping others and being seen is what truly makes all of us happy. I say that absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The new record is called We Must Become the Pitiless Censors of Ourselves. Look forward to you coming back to town again here. Do you have any plans to come back later in July or in August or maybe in the fall?
Yeah,
it's nice
we'll
here in
see.
the fall. I imagine it's really nice in Austin in the fall. Maybe we should come visit you in Austin.
Yeah, it's nice everywhere. It's nice. I loved it. I was just up in the Iron Range. You know, it's just great everywhere here. You know,
Minnesota's not so bad,
Yeah.
right? Do you want to do one more for us before
you
you
bet.
go? This is a track from the new record called Believer. Is there anything that you want to say about this before I perform it?
No, hopefully it kind of speaks for itself like the rest of them. Just thanks for having me in here. So yeah.
Well, thanks for coming, John. We appreciate you being here. This is John Mouse on The Local Show.